Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Winning Post, brought to you by Delton Casinos in association with the Serum Institute of India. As always, we have a lot of racing action, news and analysis from the racecourse for you. Let's start right at the top with the last graded race of the season, the Grade 2 Maharaja Sir Harisinghji Trophy. Come April and it signals the end of the racing season here in Mumbai. With the last graded race of the season, the Group 2 Maharaja Sir Harisinghji Trophy. Open to horses 4 years and older, the race is run over 1,600 meters. This year, 7 horses came into the fray. Shivalik Showers, trained by Kuji Katrak, enjoyed the maximum share of support from the markets here, and not surprisingly so, considering he was coming into the contest unbeaten in 3 starts, including the CN Wardia Gold Cup and the RWITC Limited Turf Championship, over 2,400 and 1,800 meters respectively, and was expected to land the spoils here as well with Darren Williams on board. Authentic, trained by Rajesh Neredu, was making his 3rd start in Mumbai and had run at the back of the field in his previous outing, the RWITC Limited Turf Championship. He would be looking at improving on that performance and securing his first win in Mumbai with CS Jodha in the saddle. Maximus, saddled by Malesh Neredu, was coming into the contest on the back of a 4th place finish in the RM and Rukmani Gokuldas Million over 1,400 meters, and had earlier run a disappointing 8th in the major PK Mehra Super Mile Cup during the Invitation Cup weekend. He would now be looking at securing his first victory since January with Trevor Patel in the saddle. Mr. Gorgeous, trained by Vijay Singh, had run behind Maximus in the major PK Mehra Super Mile, finishing 9th in the field of 12. And like Authentic, would be gunning for his first win in Mumbai with Neeraj Rawal on his back.
Starters orders and away they go for the Audi presents the Maharaja Sir Harisinghji Trophy Grade 2, and off to even dispatch from the gates. La Femme Fleur, the leader from Shivalik Shah, stands up on the outside, then comes Mountbatten. On the outside there's Mr. Gorgeous, then comes Authentic, and about 3 lengths away Maximus as they go towards the 1,200 meters. Shivalik Shah is the leader from La Femme Fleur, then there's Trance in 3rd, another length and a quarter behind. On the inside rails, Mountbatten upon the outside is Mr. Gorgeous. Second last is Authentic, about 2 lengths away Maximus as they go towards the 1,000 meters. Shivalik Shah's calling the tune, ahead by about a length and a quarter from La Femme Fleur. Then there's Mountbatten being tracked on the outside by Trance. Then comes Mr. Gorgeous. Another length behind there is Authentic, a further length and a quarter behind. Bridging that gap is Maximus as they approach the 600 meters. Shivalik Shah's by about half length from La Femme Fleur. Then there is Mountbatten upon the outside Trance. Then there is Mr. Gorgeous, Authentic and Maximus in that order as they enter into the straight. They have a little over 400 to go in this. Audi presents the Maharaja Sir Harisinghji Trophy Grade 2. Shivalik Shah still there by about 3/4 from La Femme Fleur. Mountbatten on the inside rails. Authentic looking good on the outside and covering ground. Then there's Mr. Gorgeous, Maximus and Trance going into the last 200 meters, and Authentic has gone ahead now and opened up a gap of over 2.5 to 3 from Shivalik Shah's. In 3rd place is Mr. Gorgeous, Maximus and Mountbatten going into the last 50 meters there, and Authentic lifting off the Audi present the Maharaja Sir Harisinghji Trophy Grade 2 from Shivalik Shah's. Maximus finishes a good 3rd. Then there's
Authentic came from last to first to snatch the lead from Shivalik Showers in the last 200 meters and stretched away to cross the post with 3.5 lengths to spare. Shivalik Showers was in 2nd, while Maximus rounded it off in 3rd. Trainer Rajesh Neredu was up on the podium to collect the winning honours and could not be more proud of his charge, who handed him his first win in Mumbai.
Well, it feels great, and incidentally the same race was also the first winner of my dad, so it feels even better. So it's like it kind of runs in the family. He ran a very good race in the Stayers Cup before that, and the last time when he ran it was too hot and he was playing up a lot while going, so his saddle kind of slipped immediately after the jump. So there was nothing much the jockey could really do, to help him. So he just stood up and came back trying to balance himself. Well, yeah, the strategy was to run in the front because he likes to run in the front, but he got chopped off immediately after the start, and it was a hot pace, so he was happy sitting at the back. And I ensured that the saddle doesn't slip this time, and I was always confident that he'll run a much better race.
Authentic is the son of Tijano and clocked a minute 35.72 to take home the spoils. It's time for us to slip into a quick break here on the winning post, but do stay with us as after the break we bring you all the action from the RWITC, which is gearing up to host its first ever night of racing. Welcome back to the Winning Post, brought to you by Delton Casinos in association with the Serum Institute of India. Racing in India has traditionally been run in the day. This weekend, however, the Mahalakshmi Racecourse will host its first ever night of racing in the country. Let's head straight over to the turf and see how the preparations are panning out. Night racing is a common spectacle in racing countries around the world. The Dubai World Cup is not only the world's richest race but also the world's most popular race night, and part of the popularity can be attributed to the fact that the action happens after dark, making it a more exciting prospect. While traditionally races have always been run in the daylight, in recent years night races have risen in popularity, and the latest entrant in the world of night racing is the Mahalakshmi Racecourse. In India, the RWITC has always been a pioneer in forging new paths and raising the standard of racing in the country. And in keeping with this, the club has taken another giant leap by introducing the concept of night racing for the first time ever in India, to be held on the 18th and 19th of April. And what better place than the Mahalakshmi Racecourse to host the first ever event of its kind?
I can remember that we've gone through this maybe 10 years or 15 years ago. And we had made a project report, we'd gone through everything. In fact, we'd even discussed with Dubai, who was changing their lights, and they would have imported them sort of second hand. We did all kinds of things, but unfortunately, the committee was not unanimous on this view. However, it seems now that we have got everybody sort of thinking, and since we have to look at increasing footfalls in the racecourse, and we don't seem to be getting anywhere with conventional racing, I think this is going to be a really innovative step, and it gives people in Mumbai something to do on Saturday evenings. Yeah, of course, I must give full credit to Ram Shroff, who's really spearheaded this whole thing. We're talking to Omkar; they should come on board.
And you have a very large clientele that you need to kind of bring in, where you give other options like entertainment, F&B, etc. And racing is happening by the way. And then we'll be able to filter in a few people who like the idea of racing, and then of course be regulars and maybe invest in getting more involved in terms of members or horses or whatever it is. So I think overall that's what the whole idea is. So with the supporting infrastructure that we will plan and we will have to have, it will be huge. I mean, it'll become a kind of destination or a spot to definitely go. And the concept of sundowner and everything, if you've seen every 5-star hotel now today is using it, be it the Four Seasons or be it whatever else. So, and we've got one of the most beautiful spots in this city. So we got to make the most of it.
Bajaj Electricals is responsible for lighting up the racecourse, and we caught up with Madhur Bajaj, Vice Chairman of Bajaj Limited, who spoke about the experience of partnering with the RWITC on this momentous occasion.
Well, I've been a horse lover. I had 70 race horses, and so right from college days, I've been very, very fond of racing. And when this opportunity came, I wouldn't miss it for anything. Absolutely. We are feeling thrilled that we are part of this historical moment and event. We are only crossing our fingers that everything goes well. And I think Bombay will show the way. Once Bombay succeeds, I'm sure other centers will also pick up. I believe that people who are not able to come during the daytime would now find it easier to come on a Saturday night, and then Sunday we'll have the normal morning races. So I believe that all those who missed out because of the timing of the races will now get an opportunity to do so. And I'm looking forward for large crowds who did not get the opportunity to now come and see the spectacular show. I would only like to wish everybody success. I do not know how the race horses will behave because it's not day, it's night time, but I was told that the lights make it look like daytime, and so the horses should go as performed. All the best to all those concerned. I'd like to congratulate my Bajaj Electricals team and all the committee members who are associated with it. Thank you so much.
While the racing season in Mumbai may be winding down for the year, racing patrons have 2 more days of thrilling racing action to enjoy. And for the non-racing patrons, there is a lot more to look forward to on these 2 nights.
We're working with, even from a cultural aspect, we're working now very closely with Prithvi Theatre, and we hope to bring them for a week to the race course. So these are things that we're planning, and I think that is nearly closed, kind of. You know, we have to just sign on the dotted line, but verbally all the terms and conditions are agreed to. And these are the different things that we will keep doing to get people to our race course. And we don't expect that all of them will filter in, but even if some keep filtering in, that's what we intend doing. But we believe that this space is not only ours, it belongs to everyone who's a Mumbaiker, and therefore we want them to come and enjoy.
While racing in India may still not be at par with other countries such as Singapore or the UK, a move like this is a step in the endeavour to raise the game.
Well, very much so. I think we are basically a sort of country which has warm weather in most centres, excepting maybe a few months in the winter. And that's from a horse point of view, it's going to be a great innovation because you can race late in the evening, and that should be good for the horses. But more so, it's a great feeling to have something innovative, and for Mumbai, and I hope everybody else follows suit. Mumbai is going to see, I think the sort of buzz that is being created is really quite exceptional, and much more than what I had expected, And members from all over India are probably going to traipse down, for this occasion. I think it's going to be really, really good and festive.
Horse racing is considered to be a sport that is often behind the times, and the Mahalakshmi racecourse has suffered on many counts because of its elitist tag. With the introduction of racing in the night and by inviting the general public, the club hopes to see more footfalls as well as attract a fresher audience to the course, as well as open up revenue avenues in the future.
Well, I think the most attractive thing will be to the sponsors. I think we have already seen Audi coming on board. They're really they've given us the go-ahead. They'll probably do another 4 or 5 events next year. We're talking to Omkar, they should come on board. We're talking to a couple of jewelers who are very keen on doing something. So I think all said and done, maybe all the car manufacturers will come on. We're targeting Longines, for instance. We are the biggest sponsors for polo and racing in the world today. So we're going to target them, and we are looking at a whole host of new things to happen.
How it will grow is, I think the first, we may not take the full course itself. We may look at doing it only from the mile onwards, and then we'll stagger it up. It all depends on the costs and all. So we'll look at that, but definitely up to a mile to start with. Going forward, of course, we'll take the whole course. That's from a racing perspective. When we talk about from the other infrastructure for the members and race goers, we'll keep building on what we have. Again, just repeating is that restaurants, other entertainment areas for the full family, because the concept or the idea is to try and package this for the entire family, something for everyone. So therefore we'll have to collaborate with people who are experts within this industry as consultants or whatever, and give us some idea of what can be done. And of course we'll take cue from what's already happening abroad and see. So I think a little bit of everything, food, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of culture. So I think that would be a brilliant mix.
we have seen crowds diminish even on the weekends, and tourism certainly. I think even in India, I think people will come in large numbers. And I think we can really promote all our big classic races. We got two lovely races in December, which is the 1000 and 2000, where we get a very scanty attendance. I'm sure if we push it into the evenings, it's going to be a huge, huge success. And, the people will watch the racing and we'll televise it and we'll do all kinds of things, yeah.
Any new endeavor is fraught with risks. But if the risks pay off, the success has a domino effect. And in terms of horse racing in the night, the RWITC is hoping that the other centres in the country will follow suit.
Definitely other race courses, if we are successful, and which I think I'm pretty confident that we will be, will surely emulate this and take the lead. And RWITC is always led as far as racing and innovation in racing is concerned within this country, and that's what we're doing. In fact, I'm happy that I've spoken to a couple of chairmen of the other clubs, and they are as excited, and they are also going to be visiting us over this weekend to just see how it goes, and I'm sure they will. I think it's required not only for RWITC but for every club to start with something new, because this is a challenge of revenue and dwindling numbers that is being faced across all centres in the country.
It's time for us to slip into a quick break here on The Winning Post, but do stay with us as we continue our coverage of the preparation of the first ever night of racing here in India. Welcome back to The Winning Post, brought to you by Delton Casinos in association with the Serum Institute of India. All the professionals at the RWITC have been working very hard, and the excitement among the racing fraternity is at its peak. We spoke to some trainers, jockeys and owners to find out their thoughts about the first ever night of racing here in Mumbai. The racing fraternity is abuzz with excitement at the prospect of racing in the night, at the prospect of being a part of history, and rightly so. Mahalakshmi Racecourse has seen racing since 1883, but this is the first time that it will hear the thundering of hoofs at dusk.
That's right. I think this is a historic moment in racing. We are all looking forward and we are all charged up as trainers. I can tell you, all my colleagues, my owners, everyone was looking forward to a day like this. We never thought it had happened in our time, but after 35 years of training, I'm so happy I'd be able to see night racing here.
Well, I think it's a great initiative that is being taken up by the RWITC to have night racing, especially in this time of the year when it's really hot. It is actually only cool in the evenings, and the kind of attendance we have and the kind of crowd we have, the only way to pull young crowd is to kind of have something that is happening at the night. And I had a chance to see a few of the lights being put up at the night, and I'm really excited. I hope it turns out good, and this is what we're looking for.
The first time I think India is seeing night racing. As everybody is saying, it's a game changer. It should be. This addresses many of our issues, hopefully. Falling attendances, families not coming. It gives people in Bombay something else to do, another new place to go to. I think the potential is immense. I don't even think we know where it will completely go, but baby steps have been taken.
It's history being created, and it's a prestige to ride in the first mock race of night racing, And India bringing in night racing is a great thing. It's all over the world, and now it's coming to India. So it's a big thing for us Indians.
Having raced only in the day and being used to daylight, it is certain that trainers, jockeys and even the horses face some challenges while preparing to race in the night.
I would only say the feed timings. There wouldn't be much real change. The only work and feed timing would change a little bit. The club is giving us a chance to give these horses a chance in the lights in the morning. In the evening, sorry. I've got a jockey who's riding in the races called Darren Williams. He's been riding these races all his life, and he says there's hardly any difference. Only thing he feels that the shadows look a little closer than they are. That's the only difference from normal racing.
No, I don't think there's any challenge at all, simply because if you see even today, I mean, if you look at the winter months, any case the daylight starts only by say 7:15 or even 7:15 or later, and the horses have historically worked in the dark. So that is number one. Number two, when you go to summer months, you're trying to beat the heat, so anyways you're starting early. So I don't think there is a challenge at all. Not to say that it is not going to be different, but I think animals are adaptive in nature, humans are adaptive in nature, so we have to adapt to this. It is only for the benefit. So yes, I think people will change and get used to it.
Well, yeah, obviously there's a lot of change in the entire pattern, from horses running in the morning to the horses running in the evening. Their feeding patterns change, and the work patterns change, and plus they have to get used to the lights. They have to get used to their own shadows, because of the light. So it does, you have to season them for a while before they can actually get into a race. For a jockey, I don't really think it makes much of a difference, because whether he rides in the morning or in the night, it's the level of concentration is so much that even if you put a coin on the ground, the jockey will be exactly able to tell you where the coin is. So it doesn't matter whether it's morning or evening or night, because your senses entirely concentrate only upon riding, and because you're traveling at such a fast pace, you have to have even more concentration.
Yes, night racing has its own charm, and it's quite different from day racing. It's totally different. Night racing is night racing, and the horses, they aren't finding that big of a difference. It's fine for them.
With the lights ready to shine, the doors wide open, and the horses at the ready, the club looks poised to host this event successfully, and this can be attributed to the professionals at the turf who have been working tirelessly to ensure the transition is a smooth one.
There has been a lot of pressure, there has been a lot of preparation, there has been a lot of homework that we had to do. This is the first time in India that we are holding the night racing. Firstly, the lighting, the aiming of the lights on the track. Secondly, maintenance of the track, because the watering pattern changes, so we have to walk around the track a little more, decide as to what the watering pattern would be to give the track conducive for racing. And thirdly, the entire infrastructure, the vehicles, the ambulances, the people who man the exit and entry points, everything has been fine-tuned, and we are hoping for the best. One department cannot take the credit. Very good question. Every department had its role to play. The electrical department, the labor department, the vehicle department, the admin department, the marketing. Everybody has played their role to perfection, and everybody's excelled. They have burned a lot of midnight oil, and we hope that we pull it in flying colors. Light, as far as the horse is concerned, doesn't really matter, because if you remember, the last race of the invitation day happened in the twilight. There was very little light, and as far as I'm concerned, we are, I think, giving close to the daylight, and talking to the jockeys with the experience of mock race, they find it absolutely conducive. They didn't have any problems racing under the lights, and neither the horses. The horses were very comfortable, as we've all seen in 2 mock races. They traveled very well, they were settled very well, and so were the jockeys. We are all spearheading that, and we will hopefully, if things fall in right perspective, next season we'll all shall see that Bombay will be the first one to race under the floodlights, and that's going to be, as we have been saying, every one of us, a game changer for Indian racing. So much, I think, as we proceed, as we progress, we will learn from our experiences, and we'll try to better the infrastructural facilities that we offer.
That's all we have time for on this week's episode of The Winning Post. We will bring you all the action from the first ever weekend of night racing from the Mahalakshmi Racecourse. Do remember, if you've missed anything, you can always catch us on our YouTube channel, as well as like our Facebook page. You can also follow @Mohit Lalwani on Twitter for race day updates and more. We'll see you next week with more racing action, and until then, may the horse be with you.